So overall, how is the weather conditions around the year in South Africa while you are flying over there?
If around the year, I would say mostly 70 to 75% the weather's.
And Hamza, how many papers you have to clear in South African?
So the thing is that if you go to sea, we have papers to clear. So I will divide that into groups for you. So for PPL it's papers and for CPL it's papers.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. Hamza, I have one question.
Yeah.
I have heard that South Africa is very dangerous sometimes. Is it true? If a student is flying abroad to South Africa, they have heard that it is dangerous in some ways. Or is that a misconception?
It is somewhere true, it is somewhere not. At the end of the day, see, your safety is in your hands. But yeah, if you go down, the school has recommended us specially to not to leave the premises after.
Hello everyone, my name is Captain Shivam and today we'll be discussing about the flight training process in South Africa. For that, we have our own student, Cadet Hamza Fanuswala over here, and he'll be sharing his experience and his flight training process in South Africa. So Hamza, welcome.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure being here.
So Hamza, why South Africa?
So, sir, the basic thing is that when I started my aviation career, someone suggested me Right Source Aviation.
Okay.
And when I went to Right Source Aviation and when I had a word with Captain Vijay, he showed me a lot of options across the globe, and to which I thought that South Africa suited me the most. The reasons being that the weather is almost phenomenal almost all year.
So weather is very good all around the year over there, so it is beneficial for all the students who are flying over there?
Yes, it is, since there is mostly it's winters, and after like Jan to July the weather is really good. The second thing is that it is very cost efficient.
Okay.
The living cost is very low.
Okay.
And the conversion form and CPL license of South Africa to converting an Indian license is very easy.
Okay.
It is ICAO recognized, and the last thing that is the most crucial and important thing that I thought was for me was that the RTR conversion is very simple. So you get 1 year validity for RTR,
Okay.
and after that expires, you just need to give just the part 1 to gain your RTR license of India.
So if I give my RTR license examination in India, I just have to give the first part.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so to get my Indian RTR license.
Yeah.
Okay, so even that is good. Hamza, if you can tell me what about your visa process. Did you find any difficulties in that, or how was your visa selection process?
So the visa process was not that difficult, to be honest. I just had to give my bank statements and my enrollment letters to the visa office in RSA, and then they took it further for me, and in the next 30 days I had my visa in hand, so it was a very normal and chill process.
So it was very very
go.
smooth
Yeah,
flow
perfect.
and done by RSA.
Yeah.
So it was hassle free.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, very nice. Visa is done. Okay, Hamza, what about your medicals? Let's say in India you have to undergo medicals class 1 and class 2 recognized by DGCA.
Yeah.
What are the requirements in South Africa, and who is the governing body over there, and how are the medicals different compared from India?
So the thing is that as soon as I landed in South Africa and I got a bit settled in, so the school only assisted me with all the medical formalities.
Okay.
So the SECA, South African Civil Aviation Authority, they have a set of designated doctors.
Okay.
Who do your class 1 and class 2 medicals. The class 2 medicals are valid for 2 years, and the class 1 medical is valid for 1 year. So the medical was also taken care of by the school. It was very easy, and I don't think it's an issue to get a medical for any student in South Africa.
So it is the same as Indian medical?
Yeah, the validity is the same, but here the tests are more in India. In South Africa, the tests are a bit less.
So much less tests you have to give in South African medical.
Yeah, that's
okay.
right.
Hamza, if you can tell me about your experience, let's say how many different breakdown of different phases of training do you have?
So there are
in South
3
Africa?
stages of training in South Africa. First is you get your SPL, which is at 0 hours. Then you get your PPL at 60 to 65 hours. So the duration between from your SPL to your PPL, first you will be taught the basic controls of the flight. Then they will teach you spin, stall, spiral dive, which is very exciting for any students to learn. And then they will teach you the emergency procedures. Then they will teach you circuits and landings, and then they will take you for cross-country flights. And after that, you will have PPL check ride, after which a student can gain their PPL. And after PPL to CPL, it is very easy. You need 100 hours of PIC.
Okay.
After of which 50 hours should be 100 nautical miles, and there should be one flight of 300 nautical miles, and a student, or rather I, should land at 2 different airports and refuel.
Okay.
So the process was very easy. The flying and everything was very easy in South Africa.
Okay, so these are the different phases of flight training you undergo during your
CPL.
CPL.
Yeah.
Okay, that includes your PPL.
PPL, CPL.
CPL. Okay. And Hamza, how many papers you have to clear in South African?
So the thing is that if you go to C, we have 19 papers to clear. So I will divide that into groups for you. So for PPL it's 9 papers, and for CPL it's 10 papers. And you have 3 oral examinations, which is ELP, which is your English language proficiency. Then your second is your restricted radio, and then your third is your general radio.
Okay.
So that's everything you need the theoretical knowledge to gain your CPL in South Africa.
Okay. Hamza, if you can tell me about a typical day in your life as a student pilot, what do you do on a normal day? How is your day as a student pilot?
Okay. So the thing is that I would wake up first in the morning, I would make a cup of coffee for myself, and then I would check my roster. First I would check the weather, and then I would check my roster. If I have a flight, I would get ready for school. Then the school had provided us a shuttle who would come to pick us up.
Okay.
Then I would do my pre-flight, do my fueling checks, everything. Then I would go and have a flight with my instructor. And then afterwards, the school shuttle would also drop me back home. After which I would either come home and study if I had any remaining papers, or I would have a great time with my friends and chill in the bungalow and everything.
Okay. Oh, so
it's a very normal day. It's very hectic, but the flying really compensates for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and what was the frequency of flight per week? What was your experience in that?
So, during a good weather condition, we used to fly 4 times a week. And if there were like warm fronts or something, we used to fly once or twice a week because the visibility and the weather would be bad.
So, overall, how is the weather conditions around the year in South Africa while you are flying over there?
If around the year, I would say mostly 70 to 75% the weather is phenomenal.
Okay.
It is so stable that I don't think you even need to touch the aircraft controls if you have trimmed the aircraft properly.
Oh.
Yeah.
So even that 25% of the bad weather we are talking about, does that impact the flight training of a particular student?
It just becomes a little bit slow, to be very honest, but no, it doesn't impact.
It doesn't impact.
Yeah, and I think everyone should go through that bad weather stage, so they will know how much correction you need to put for if you face some bad weather, what you should do as a student pilot when you're flying solo in the further stages of the training if you encounter bad weather.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. How are your relations with your instructor?
So talking about my instructors in South Africa, my instructors were very knowledgeable and they were very precise about everything.
Okay.
But after school, if I ever needed them or if I ever needed their guidance or assistance, they were just one phone call away and they would be ready to help me for anything.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. Hamza, I have one question.
Yeah.
I have heard that South Africa is very dangerous sometimes. Is it true? If a student is flying abroad to South Africa, they have heard that it is dangerous in some ways. Or is that a misconception?
It is somewhere true, it is somewhere not. At the end of the day, see, your safety is in your hands. So if you do something that is unsafe, you can't blame it on the country. But yeah, if you go down, the school has recommended us specially not to leave the premises after sundown. And even if you want to, there should be at least in a group of 4 to 5 people going together. Okay. So it's really not unsafe, but yeah, at the end of the day, if you do such things, if you try to like harass the locals over there or something, then it can be a bit sketchy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Hamza, as we know that you have a flight experience, okay, what was a difficult skill for you to master?
So I would say the most difficult skill that it took me to master was gaining a stable approach, that is 2 wide 2 reds on the PAPI. So
PAPI, you mean by precision approach path indicator?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. So because when I used to be on the final approach, either I used to make a lot of big changes on the throttle controls. So that either used to get me too high or too low. So then with the help of my instructors and with the frequency flying and everything, that really mastered my skill.
Okay. But how did you overcome that skill? That was very difficult for you to master. What were the things that you did which helped you in mastering that skill as well?
As I said, if I went and spoke to my instructors that this is the problems I'm facing, so they would give me frequent flights, and they would guide me through each step. They would talk me through each step on the final approach. So the practice, yeah, it was a lot of hard work, but the practice made it perfect.
Okay, yes. Hamza, if you can share your memorable flight experience, just one that comes at the top of your head.
So the one thing that comes on top of my head is that when I was doing my training, my other friend had a PPL license.
Okay.
And he was doing his 300 nautical mile flight. So we three friends in one aircraft sat and we flew ourselves from Johannesburg to Durban. It was 3.5 hours for one leg and it was a 7-hour flight in total. And so we landed in Durban, then we went to the beach, we had an amazing experience and then we flew ourselves back.
Was it very tiring for you guys?
Not really. So when I flew the first leg, I was acting as a co-pilot. So that was very fun. So I saw the sunrise. And then while coming back, I had an amazing day. So I was very tired. So I chose to sit at the passenger seat and just sleep, to be very honest.
So overall an amazing day.
It was an amazing day. It is something that I would never forget.
Oh, very nice. Apart from this, share your rewarding memory that you can think of.
The rewarding memory, I think the most rewarding memory of my entire life is me getting my first solo, my initial solo, cause it was the best thing to do and a person can do. Like flying is not mastered by everyone and everyone can't fly.
Okay.
So when I flew the aircraft alone for the first time, it was an amazing experience. And on landing my aircraft solo for the first time, after I got down out of the aircraft, there was this one line that my instructor told me, which has motivated me and made me more precise, and it has just made me want to go further deep into this career, is that I am in the 1% of the normal people who can take off, operate and land the plane on themselves. So that was really motivating for me and very rewarding to hear that.
Those are some motivating words by instructor.
Very, to be very honest.
Yes. Hamza, if you can tell me about the conversion process. How is the conversion process from South African license to Indian license?
So it's not really that difficult. Since you have an RTR for 1 year, you can do conversion flying without giving the RTR exams first.
Okay.
So and you need 3 exams, which is Regs, NAV and MET. And it's not that difficult to convert your CPL license from South Africa to an Indian license.
Okay. And how was your overall experience there flying?
My experience was very good. I don't think that I could have had a better experience or anything as such.
So what is one suggestion to all the aspiring pilots who are watching you right now? What is one thing that you can tell them that it will be very helpful for them while choosing the right flight school or something like that?
So the thing is that I would like to tell aspiring pilots is that aviation is a very interesting field. It is not as easy as it looks. It takes up a lot of time. There are too many exams. It's not as easy as it looks. And yeah, if you genuinely have the passion for flying, then only you should get into this field. And anyone who is financially stable should get into this field because it is very financially
difficult, you can say?
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, Hamza, it was very nice talking to you.
Likewise.
And I hope the information which you have shared will be very much beneficial and helpful for the aspiring pilots who are watching you right now.
I hope.
So we all hope about that. Okay. If you have any more queries, you can get in touch with us. So thank you all.